part you have to make sure that you're summarizing your entire thesis. Why? Because it is important that even if readers have this habit of skimming and scanning through a written piece, which even we as teachers we do that at times, or researchers, because in the first glance we want to understand what we are writing. If we get a paper or a book, first we want to understand, okay, I'm going to read this particular piece, so first I want to know or understand what this piece is about. So I just skim through or scan through, and then I sit with it to read it again and again and then understand. So that is the reason why conclusion is so important, and it carries a lot of weight as writers. If introduction and conclusion of every written piece is very important, this as writers we all have to keep in mind, and as educationists. Why? Because introduction catches the introduction is the part where you grab the attention of your readers or your listeners in the beginning. And conclusion, even if our attention span as human being is very less, so even if somehow the people who were listening to you, or at the same time reading to you, they have lost connection or have lost attention, conclusion will help them understand that yes, these are the portions I have discussed in my academic thesis or academic paper, and now I need, even if I have not left read this particular part in the body, I have left it somewhere, I can go back and I can read it. So this is very important when it comes to conclusions. It should begin by briefly summarizing your key points, whatever you have discussed in the entire thesis, starting from the introduction, your body, all the problems that you have discussed, or the solutions that we've discussed, the research work, the data, everything, but in a summarized way. Then freshly restate your thesis, showing your discussion has supported it. Now you have to reinforce it. Reinforcement is very important. So it reminds your readers or your listeners that yes, I have discussed this particular point, and you might not have paid attention at that particular time. So you can go back always. So that is the reason why conclusion is very important, as I have been telling you all. So when you restate that, and you remind them basically that yes, this particular I have stated this particular point, and I have given proper supportive data to that particular point, and my arguments have this particular support research work, that yes, my arguments are correct, and they are not incorrect. And even if you have missed a particular point, you can go back and read it again. A strong conclusion also reminds readers of the broader significance of your research, why it matters, what it implies, and how it contributes to the knowledge. So, if your readers are not being able to give the answer to them after reading your work, that why it matters to them, what it implies to them, and how it contributes to their knowledge, they will not feel the interest to read it. It happens with us also. If we get a particular book, the first thing that comes to my mind is, why am I going to read this book? Will it give me some knowledge? Will I get some benefit from this particular piece? Even if today, like y'all have joined this session, so the first thing might have come to your mind, why I'm going to join this, why will it be beneficial to me? So similar thing happens to all readers. Remember, the conclusion is not the place to introduce new theories or evidence. This is the most important point, and every writer should remember this, that when you have already come to the conclusion, do not introduce new ideas or do not bring in a new point, because you do not have the chance to give explanation of that new point in the conclusion or after the conclusion. So conclusion is the end of your written piece. Now we come to the writing process. Academic writing is a multi stage process. Very few writers produce an excellent paper on the first attempt. What it has: planning, drafting, revising, editing, and proofreading. So, planning is the first step. It involves understanding your topic and gathering sources. Where you sit, you've got the topic or you've selected your topic and you plan the entire academic writing in point form. You don't start writing then and there. You first plan everything, put it in steps, and then you gather all informations related to your topic and from credible sources, and you create your write up based on those points. So you know, on your mind you have the entire chalk of what you're going to write and how you're going to approach your topic. Then comes the drafting stage, is where ideas flow freely without worrying too much about perfection. So, drafting is like scribbling on the paper. Okay, this is the first point I have in my hand or on my mind. I'm going to do research work on that. On that, I have done it, and I'm going to discuss it on my written paper, or my academic writing will have this much of explanation in it. So you're drafting it. So you don't have to be that careful at that in the drafting stage. Then comes the revising. Focuses on logic, structure, and content improvement. So after the drafting, you write down your entire thesis and then you revise your work. Like whether you have done your work, your research work properly, you check everything, uh, all the topics, whether you have the all the points that you had planned to touch upon during the planning stage is properly written or not. Everything you check. Then comes the editing. Editing is very important because over here you will pay attention to your grammar, your sentence, that is your syntax, your grammar includes everything, and of course your research work, like whether you have taken your statements or your data from proper sources or not. You have to make sure, yes, as it can happen that in the flow when we are writing, somewhere we have written sentences or thoughts that has come out of our mind. It can happen because academic writings are big pieces and long pieces is just tiresome at times. So it can happen that I have sat through for 2 to 3 hours writing, and then I take a break, or maybe I take even 1 day break and then again come back and sit and write, start writing again. So that particular point of time, what happens is there's a break in our minds, in our thoughts, and we have just written something which is not research based. So you can come back during the editing stage at that particular point, go through your writing very well, that is your moment, and edit your entire piece properly. Because as I've been telling, that we as educationists, we have it in our hand that we present our paper really well because it is gain knowledge. So we cannot make the mistakes of giving them anything that is not authentic. And then proofreading. When your entire editing work is done, you do a proofreading. Proofreading can be done by us, the writers, if you're good at it. Otherwise, give it to another person. Editing. Same applies for editing. Give it to another person. So at the end, what happens is they check the nitty gritties. That yes, little bit mistakes here and there are there. So can be changed, or if a little bit of a sentence can be added or removed. That's what proofreading is all about. Just to polish your work, give a polished piece to your readers. A useful mantra for academic writers is good writing is rewriting. As a writer, I can vouch to this statement that I keep on writing. Even if I've written the best piece, still I feel that yes, my writing needs to be edited again and again and again. So that is a process that never ends. But yes, it is tiresome. But always, please go through your writing again and again, and uh, make it polished and then present it. All right. So the common challenges and the solution. Common challenges are lack of clarity, and the solution to this is use concise sentences. Don't have to make huge sentences, big sentences. Keep it to 20-25 words each sentence. Weak structure. Create outlines before writing. Do not, as I've said, introduction, body, conclusion. Keep this structure in your mind. Do not overlap it. Like, do not bring in new points in your conclusion. And the point that I've said, that when you're writing in your body, when you are discussing about one particular problem in a sentence, make sure you discuss it within 50 words and then go to the next paragraph and start with another problem or another research work. Do not mix everything together. That will hamper your entire structure. We Plagiarism, cite. What is the solution? Cite all sources. It will be helpful to you and also to the readers, because copy pasting is something which you should never do. You are giving authentic writing. It is yours. You are When you're writing an academic piece, you're giving your name. Like, if I write an academic piece or I write an article, I give my name goes with that article. But Patricia de Cruz has written it, written by Patricia de Cruz. It shouldn't happen that I have copy pasted from somebody else and then put it here. So it is best that, even if I do understand that AI has come into the picture, and even though we are at times writing the entire article ourselves or the entire thesis ourselves, AI flags it as copy pasted work. So best is to take proper sources and then cite it, so no one will be able to blame you for plagiarism there. Overuse of passive voice. Use active voice when possible. Cultural writing differences. Adapt to academic conventions. Avoid any kinds of emotions. Keep it to academic styles of writing. Because you have to keep in mind, this is for people who are from the education background. So, cultural differences in writing styles can make academic English challenging. Understanding global academic norms helps writers adapt to international standards as well. All right. With this, I come to the referencing and the academic integrity. So, why reference is important? Because you acknowledge others. You give acknowledgement. You thank the others from where you have taken the work. Then avoid plagiarism. Strengthen your work, because when you give references, people trust you. They believe that yes, this person has done proper research work and has given me the content. So that's what helps. And what are the citation styles? Are APA, MLA. I will discuss this later. Chicago and Harvard. So they credit original authors, protect you from plagiarism, and show that your arguments are grounded in established research work. So remember that credible academic writing is transparent about its sources. Okay. So the broader impact. When we talk about academic writing, we often think about structure, citations, and formal tone. Academic writing does more than convey knowledge, it actually builds up. Every paper, every research article, every thesis adds a new piece to the global mosaic of human understanding. Even a small contribution becomes part of something much larger. We might think that, okay, I'm just writing maybe this academic piece, but you never know that that particular piece can mean a million to some reader sitting maybe far away from us. Now, academic writing does more than convey knowledge, it builds it. So, it encourages collaboration amongst scholars. I have discussed this already. How it preserves, because you might have something in your mind, you have read up. You have read a work, you have read a particular got some information particular from a particular site, and somebody does not have. But reading your paper, that person who does not have that knowledge will gain the knowledge. It trains minds to think critically, question assumptions, and reason ethically. As students and researchers, our words become part of a continuing conversation that transcends borders and generations. So we have to be very careful while doing it. Okay. It, as educators and researchers, we must remember our words join a conversation that existed before us and will continue after us. When we publish or even submit academic coursework, we are participating in a dialogue that stretches across nations, cultures, and centuries. This is the true power of academic writing. So sorry, just a minute. Okay. It connects us to the world and empowers us to contribute to its futures. Now I'll show you all some examples of the academic writing. So yeah, the opening statement, how you can present it. Over 80%, like I have been constantly telling you all, do not be vague in your academic papers. So this is how, these are the four examples that I have taken. I don't think I have much time. Okay, so over 80% of university students report struggling with academic writing. Yet, few institutions offer formal training in it. So instead of saying, no, I assume that, instead of doing that, you write it in a proper statement, you give the facts. 80% of you have done a proper research work, and then you are presenting it. Purpose and the thesis statement. This paper examines the essential structure of academic writing and proposes that mastering it enhances clarity, coherence, and research quality. So you just don't simply say that my paper is going to give you quality research work. You present it in a proper formatted structure that I have written it in. Number three, effective academic writing requires clarity of purpose. According to, so see, over here I'm giving a proper quotation that I've taken. According to Swales 1990, writers must clearly define their research aim and audience. Appear scattered or repetitive. For instance, essays with unclear objectives often contain unrelated details, weakening their impact. Therefore, defining purpose at the outset ensures precision and direction in academic communication. And number four, to conclude, academic writing is not just an academic requirement, but a medium through which scholars refine and share thought. A clear structure, introduction, and conclusion ensures that knowledge is communicated effectively. Sentences that I have given you all, whether it's a short paragraph or a statement, from nowhere you will be able to see or read that these are giving you vague uh, statements. These are not vague statements, and these are not giving you vague information as well. At the end, we obviously give proper citations. Now I'll give you the examples. Now, these are the citation styles. This is, I hope the table is, wait, I'll just do a slideshow and show you all. Okay. Now, citation